Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. This is your 11th lecture of physics for 10th class. In this lecture we are going to discuss the geometrical optics, that is your unit number 12. Now the learning outcomes for this lecture are reflection of light, laws of reflection, types of reflection, spherical mirrors, types of spherical mirrors, terms associated with the spherical mirrors. In this lecture, we are going to discuss reflection of light first. We have already discussed the reflection process in water waves. Now, in this chapter, we are going to discuss the process of reflection for light waves. When the light traveling in a certain medium fall on the surface of another medium, a part of it return back in the same medium. This is called reflection of light. As you can clearly see in the picture, that a ray OA falls on a plane mirror M. It is reflected along the path OB, as you can see in the figure. As you can see that OA represents the incident ray, whereas the ray OB is called the reflected ray, and a normal is represented by a dotted black line. The angle between the incident ray OA and the normal N is called the angle of incident, and it is represented by small I. Whereas the angle between the normal and the reflected ray, that is OB, is called angle of reflection, and it is represented by small r. Now the most important thing is the laws of reflection. In order to reflect a wave, whether it is a water wave or a light wave, it must obey the laws of reflection. Now what are the laws of reflections? The incident ray, the normal, and the reflected ray at the point of incident all lie in the same plane. As you can see in the animation that the incident ray A, the reflected ray B, and the normal, which is represented by a dotted line, all lie on the same plane. And the second point is the angle of incident is equals to the angle of reflection. As you can clearly see in the animation that your angle of incident and your angle of reflection both are same, both are equal. So both the laws are obeyed. There are two types of reflection. One is your regular reflection and other is your irregular reflection. Regular reflection, the reflection by the smooth surfaces, is called regular reflection. As you can see in the figure, that when the incident beams strike the smooth surface, it will reflect back by making certain angle with the surface. As you can see in the figure that all the reflected beams are unidirectional, or you may say that they have the same direction, and it is in a smooth manner, a regular manner. But when we are going to discuss the irregular reflection, the rough surfaces of the objects reflect the rays of light in many directions. Such type of reflection is called irregular reflection. As you can see in the figure, that when the incident beam or a light beam strikes the rough surface, it will reflect back, but when the light rays reflect back, it will scattered, or it is in different direction. It is not in a uniform manner. It is not reflected in a uniform manner. But remember one thing, whenever a light reflects, it must obey the laws of reflection. Although it is scattered, but it must obey the laws of reflection. Now our next topic is spherical mirrors. Now you must know what actually is a spherical mirror. A mirror whose polished reflecting surface is a part of a hollow sphere of glass or plastic is called a spherical mirror. As you can see that the dotted line shows the outer boundary of a sphere, and which is hollow inside, and we are going to take a part of that hollow sphere, and this is a hollow sphere of a glass, and this part is represented by M and M prime. As you can see that this part is clearly mentioned by a dark black line, whose one side is polished and one side is reflecting. This shows, or this portion of that sphere is known as the spherical mirror. Mirror is formed when you are going to apply some coating on one side of the glass. Then it forms a mirror. And if this mirror is a part of a sphere, then this is known as your spherical mirror. Now I am going to discuss spherical mirrors in detail. In a spherical mirror, one of the two curved surfaces is coated with a thin layer of silver followed by a coating of red lead oxide paint. As you know that, what does it means that one of the two curved surfaces? Means that the inner curved surface or the outer curved surface. We can polish the inner curved surface and we can polish the outer curved surface. When we polish the inner curved surface, the characteristic of the mirror is going to be different, and when we polish the outer curved surface, its characteristics are going to be different. Thus, one side of the spherical mirror is opaque and the other side is highly polished or reflecting surface. As you can clearly see in the picture, that we are going to take a part of a sphere once again, which is clearly mentioned by a dark line. If you are going to see the left part of the sphere, then you will see a dark black line which mention the part of that sphere whose one side is reflecting whereas other side is opaque. As you can see in the picture, that its inner surface is reflecting whereas its outer surface is coated, or you may say that it is opaque. Whereas the picture on your right hand side, the part of the sphere which we are going to take, its outer surface is reflecting but inner surface is coated, or you may say opaque. So that is why spherical mirrors are divided into two types. One is your concave mirror and other is your convex mirror. Concave mirror are those mirrors whose inner curved surface is reflecting, is called concave mirror. In concave mirror, the size of the image depends on the position of the object. Both virtual and real images can be formed by a concave mirror. As you can see in the figure, that as part of a sphere is going to be taken whose inner curved surface is reflecting, and when the light rays fall on that part, all the light rays are reflect back. Similarly, on the other hand, when we are going to discuss the convex mirror, a spherical mirror whose outer curved surface is reflecting is called the convex mirror. In a convex mirror, the size of the image is always smaller than the object. Only virtual and erect images are formed by the convex mirrors. Virtual means which does not exist in real. Now we are going to discuss some important terminologies which are associated with the spherical mirrors, and that are: number one is the pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature, and the most importantly is your principal axis. As you can see in the figure, there are two mirrors. One is your concave mirror and other is your convex mirror. When we are going to define the pole, it is the midpoint of the curved surface of the spherical mirror. It is also called vertex. As you can see in the picture, that the polished surface, the concave or convex mirror, both have a midpoint, and it is represented by a point P over there, which represents the pole of the concave or convex mirror. It is known as the central point or the midpoint of the curved surface of spherical mirror. Now the next one is center of curvature. A spherical mirror is a part of a sphere. The center of this sphere is called the center of curvature. As you can see that there are two spheres. From one sphere we are going to make a concave mirror, and the other sphere makes the convex mirror. As you can see that both the spheres are represented by the dotted line. So the center of the sphere is known as center of curvature. Center of the sphere is known as center of the curvature in a very easy language. And the radius of that sphere, radius of the sphere means the distance between the center of curvature and pole, is known as the radius of curvature. Or if you are going to define it, then radius of curvature is represented by capital R, and it is the radius of the sphere of which a spherical mirror is a part. This is the actual definition that you are going to write down in your paper. But when you have to memorize it, then just remember one thing: the distance between center of curvature and pole of the mirror is known as radius of curvature for concave and convex mirrors. And now the most important definition is principal axis. What actually is principal axis? It is the line joining the center of curvature and pole of the sphere is known as your spherical mirror, is known as your principal axis. As you can see in the picture that in both the sphere you will see a horizontal dark line, a black line on which you will see the center of curvature and the point of a pole. So this line on which you have a center of curvature and the pole of the spherical mirror, this line is known as your principal axis. Now this is your principal focus. After reflection from a concave mirror, rays of light parallel to the principal axis converge to a point F. This point is called the principal focus of the mirror. Hence, the concave mirrors are also called the converging mirrors. Since rays actually pass through this point, therefore it is called real focus. Now understand what actually is real focus or principal focus for concave mirror. As you can see in the picture clearly that you will see a concave mirror whose inner curved surface is reflecting. The light rays moving parallel to the principal axis strikes the mirror and reflect back. After reflecting, all the light rays converge to a point F, or you may say all the light rays are going to be combined to a point, say F. This F is known as principal focus for the concave mirror. As you can see that all the light rays, reflected light rays, are going to be combined or converge on a single point F. So actually all the light rays are going to pass through this point. So that is why this focus is known as your real focus. So the concave mirror has a real focus. On the other hand, when we discuss the convex mirror, rays parallel to the principal axis after reflection appear to come from a point F situated behind the mirror. In other words, rays of light appear to diverge from F. This point is called the principal focus of the convex mirror. Convex mirrors are also called diverging mirrors. The principal focus of a convex mirror is virtual focus. As you can clearly see that we have a convex mirror here whose outer curved surface is reflecting. All the light rays moving parallel to the principal axis, when strikes the convex mirror, all the light rays are reflected. But these reflected rays are not going to pass through the focus, but they are going to be reflected into different directions. When these different directed rays, reflected rays, are going to be extended in the backward direction in the dotted line, all these reflected rays which are scattered or diverged, these diverged rays are, when extended in the backward direction, they are going to be combined on a single point. That point always lies behind the mirror. So that is why this focus is not real, because it seems to be that the light rays are going to be appear from a point which lie behind the mirror. So that is why its focus is virtual focus. Virtual means which does not exist in reality. It seems to be that the light rays are going to be emerged from a point behind the convex mirror, and those light rays are, after coming from the mirror, they are going to be scattered into different directions, or they are going to be diverged. So convex mirrors are also known as diverging mirrors. Now the most important thing is your focal length. What actually is the focal length? It is the distance from the pole to the principal focus measured along the principal axis. It is known as the focal length. As you can clearly see in the figure, that the distance between the focus point capital F and the pole P is known as the focal length, and focal length for a concave mirror or for the convex mirror is represented by small f. As you can see for the convex mirror, that the focus point is lie behind the mirror, so the distance between the focus point and the pole of the mirror is also known as focal length, and it is also represented by small f. As this focus is virtual focus, so it is always measured with the negative sign, or it is always paired with the negative sign, whereas the focus point for the concave mirror is real focus, so it is paired with the positive sign. We have also a very important relation between the focal length and the radius of the curvature, that is f is equals to r by 2, where f, small f, is known as the focal length of the mirror and r is the radius of curvature. This shows that if the radius of curvature is reduced, so the focal length also reduced. Now by the end of my lecture, I'm going to give you a few questions for your practice. And for this you are going to do, what do you understand by the reflection of light? Draw a diagram to illustrate the reflection at a plane surface. Number 2, describe the following terms used in reflection: normal, angle of incident, and angle of reflection. State laws of reflection. Describe how they can be verified graphically. All these questions are well explained and well defined in your lecture. I hope you will enjoy this lecture and find it very informative for you. Inshallah, we will meet in our next lecture. Until then, Allah Hafiz.